Ancient healers called it golden milk, not because of its color, because of what it did. For over 3,000 years across ancient India, ancient Persia, and ancient Southeast Asia, healers prepared a specific warm drink every evening. Turmeric root ground into warm milk with black pepper and a small amount of fat, and prescribed it for everything from joint inflammation to digestive disorders, to insomnia, to wound healing, to the prevention of disease in healthy patients who showed no symptoms at all. Ancient Ayurvedic physicians called this preparation Haldi Doodh, turmeric milk, and classified it as a rasayana. A rasayana in Ayurvedic medicine is not a treatment for a specific condition. It is a preparation that promotes longevity, maintains vitality, and prevents the accumulation of damage that leads to disease over time. The highest classification in the entire Ayurvedic pharmacopoeia. Modern nutritional science has now studied the primary active compound in turmeric, curcumin, in over 10,000 peer-reviewed clinical studies. It is one of the most extensively studied natural compounds in the history of nutritional research, and the findings consistently confirm what ancient healers prescribed for 3,000 years. Today, I am sharing exactly what happens in your body when you drink turmeric milk every evening. 7 specific things, each one confirmed by modern research. Each one observed by ancient healers long before the science existed to explain it. Before the 7 things, the one preparation detail that ancient healers never compromised on: black pepper, always, without exception. Curcumin, the active compound in turmeric, is poorly absorbed by the human digestive system when consumed alone. Studies have shown that curcumin consumed without any absorption, enhancer passes largely through the gut without entering the bloodstream in significant quantities. Ancient healers who prescribed turmeric always combined it with black pepper and a fat, typically ghee or full-fat milk, without knowing the biochemical reason. The reason is this: piperine, the active compound in black pepper, inhibits the liver enzymes that rapidly break down curcumin before it can enter circulation. A single pinch of black pepper increases the bioavailability of curcumin by 1,920%. Not 20%, not 200%, 1,920%. Ancient healers arrived at this combination through centuries of clinical observation. They noticed that turmeric preparations with black pepper and fat produced dramatically better clinical outcomes than turmeric alone. The biochemical mechanism behind their observation was only understood in 1998. The first thing turmeric milk does, it reduces systemic inflammation at the cellular level. Curcumin is one of the most powerful natural anti-inflammatory compounds ever identified. It suppresses NF-κB, the master inflammatory transcription factor that activates hundreds of genes involved in the inflammatory response. It inhibits COX-2, the enzyme that produces inflammatory prostaglandins. It reduces the production of IL-6, TNF-alpha, and other inflammatory cytokines that drive the chronic low-grade inflammation underlying most degenerative diseases. The comprehensive reach of curcumin's anti-inflammatory action, touching multiple inflammatory pathways simultaneously, is why ancient healers observed it reducing inflammation in joints, skin, gut, and respiratory tissue simultaneously in the same patient. They were observing a multi-pathway anti-inflammatory effect that no single pharmaceutical drug can replicate. The second thing turmeric milk does, it protects the brain. Curcumin crosses the blood-brain barrier, one of the few natural compounds that does. Once inside, it increases the production of BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor, the protein that promotes the growth of new neural connections and maintains the health of existing neurons. Low BDNF is strongly associated with depression, cognitive decline, and neurodegenerative diseases, including Alzheimer's. Clinical studies have found that curcumin supplementation increases BDNF levels, improves memory and attention in healthy adults, and reduces the amyloid plaques and tau tangles that characterize Alzheimer's disease in animal studies. Ancient Ayurvedic physicians specifically prescribed turmeric milk for elderly patients showing signs of mental decline, calling it the drink that clears the mind and preserves the spirit. Their clinical observation preceded the BDNF research by 3,000 years. The third thing turmeric milk does, it supports the liver. Curcumin is specifically hepatoprotective, protective of liver cells. It reduces oxidative stress in liver tissue, stimulates bile production, which aids fat digestion and detoxification, activates the liver's own antioxidant enzymes, and has been shown in clinical trials to reduce ALT and AST levels, the primary blood markers of liver inflammation, in patients with non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. Ancient Ayurvedic medicine prescribed Haldi Doodh specifically as an evening liver tonic, observing that patients who drank it consistently showed improvement in the signs they associated with liver health: clear skin, good digestion, and what they called brightness of the complexion. These are the outward signs of a liver that is filtering effectively and producing bile in healthy quantities. The fourth thing turmeric milk does, it improves sleep quality. This is the benefit that ancient healers prescribed it for most consistently in the evening, and the one that surprises modern people most. Warm milk alone promotes sleep through its tryptophan and melatonin precursor content. But curcumin adds a specific additional mechanism. It reduces the neuroinflammation that disrupts sleep architecture, specifically the slow-wave deep sleep phase, where the most significant physical and neurological repair occurs. Research has shown that curcumin reduces the activity of the inflammatory compounds that interfere with sleep, specifically IL-1 beta, which when elevated shortens REM sleep and reduces slow-wave sleep depth. Ancient healers who prescribed turmeric milk specifically as an evening drink were optimizing for this sleep-supportive effect, observing that patients who drank it before bed consistently slept more deeply and woke more restored. The fifth thing turmeric milk does, it regulates blood sugar. Curcumin improves insulin sensitivity, the ability of cells to respond to insulin and absorb glucose from the bloodstream. It protects pancreatic beta cells from oxidative damage and reduces the chronic low-grade inflammation in adipose tissue that drives insulin resistance. Clinical trials have found that curcumin supplementation reduces fasting blood glucose and HbA1c in people with prediabetes and type 2 diabetes. Ancient Ayurvedic physicians prescribed turmeric specifically for patients showing the signs of what they called the sweet disease, observing that consistent consumption of Haldi Doodh produced measurable improvement in energy stability, reduction in excessive thirst, and improvement in what they called the quality of the vital fluid. The sixth thing turmeric milk does, it supports joint health. This is the most widely known benefit of turmeric and the one with the strongest clinical evidence base. Multiple randomized controlled trials have found that curcumin supplementation reduces pain and improves function in patients with osteoarthritis as effectively as ibuprofen, without the gastrointestinal side effects that limit long-term NSAID use. The mechanism is the same multi-pathway anti-inflammatory action that reduces inflammation throughout the body. But joints, with their limited blood supply and high mechanical stress, respond particularly visibly to systemic anti-inflammatory intervention. Ancient healers prescribed turmeric milk specifically and consistently for joint pain, stiffness, and swelling, observing the clinical outcome that modern rheumatology trials have since confirmed. The seventh thing turmeric milk does: it strengthens the immune system. Curcumin modulates the immune system through multiple pathways simultaneously, increasing the activity of natural killer cells and T lymphocytes, reducing the overproduction of inflammatory cytokines that damage tissue when the immune response is excessive, and stimulating the production of antimicrobial peptides that protect the respiratory and digestive tracts. The warm milk in the preparation contributes its own immune benefits, providing whey proteins that support antibody production and lactoferrin that has direct antimicrobial properties. Ancient healers prescribed Haldi Doodh specifically at the onset of illness and as a preventive during cold and flu season, observing that patients who drank it consistently fell ill less frequently and recovered faster when they did. The preparation, exact and simple: 1 cup of warm, full-fat milk, dairy or plant-based, though dairy provides the fat that aids curcumin absorption. 1 teaspoon of turmeric powder or freshly grated turmeric root. 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper. This is not optional, it is the mechanism. 1 teaspoon of ghee, coconut oil, or the fat already present in full-fat milk. A small amount of raw honey if desired for sweetness. Warm gently, never boil. Boiling reduces the active compounds. Drink in the final hour before sleep, every evening, consistently. The clinical evidence for curcumin's effects is based on consistent daily use over weeks and months, not occasional consumption. Ancient healers called it golden milk because gold was the most precious thing they knew. They were not wrong. If this found you at the right moment, share it with one person whose evenings you want to change. 1 warm cup every night. 3,000 years of evidence behind it. Subscribe to Ancient Body Wisdom and come back every single week. There is so much more the healers knew, and we are only just beginning.